Hey yo, what's going on guys? It's your boy Scatino, aka Scat, and today's video is all about the PlayStation Vita. Now this new system, this new handheld system released by Sony, released in the UK and North America the past February. Actually come out in Japan now a year ago, actually come out last December in Japan, so it's been on release there now a full 12 months. And in its first, 10 months on sale over here, it's gotten a lot of flack. It's got a lot of stick. Now, basically what I want to talk about today is whether or not the Vita is a flop or is it a success. And well, to be honest, there's two ways you can actually look at it. You can look at it in terms of sales, or you can look at the PlayStation Vita in terms of, you know, the hardware capabilities and the games it's actually gotten. Not only the games it's actually got on it at the moment, but the games that could potentially be released in the near future. So, I think a common misconception about the PlayStation Vita at this moment is a lot of people are saying they don't really want to invest in one because the Vita's got no games. That's not true whatsoever. The Vita's got a lot of games. The Vita has got a lot of great games. And I think people, like I say, you know, really kind of get it wrong here. Just because maybe not all of the games are big blockbuster AAA titles, you know, that's not to say it's not got any games. I think the launch titles in particular on the PlayStation Vita when it was released back in February was a really, really strong lineup. A lot better than the Nintendo 3DS. I mean, if you think about it, at launch, the system had games like Uncharted Golden Abyss, Wipeout 2048, Rayman Origins, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, it had Ninja Gaiden, it had BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend. What other games did it have? It had Everybody's Golf. It had Super Stardust Delta. It had MotorStorm RC. You know, the list goes on and on and on. And that was just launch titles. You know, since then, there's been some quite lackluster games, of course. You know, games like Resistance, Burning Skies. You know, the much anticipated Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified, which was, you know, universally panned. And it was just a really awful game. Hopefully, well, you know, definitely Nihilistic Software are not going to be creating a new one because they're going exclusively to like downloadable title games, like mobile type games. So they're not going to be creating another Call of Duty. So no doubt it will go to another developer. There'll definitely be another Call of Duty game on the Vita. So let's just hope it's a better game. Nihilistic did also create Resistance Burning Skies, which also sucked. But on top of that, you know, you've got games like Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. You've got Persona 4, which is already out at the moment in North America. It comes out in the UK early next year. You know, you've got them kind of games. You've got the downloadable games on there. You know, you've got your Stranger's Wrath HD. You've got Jet Set Radio. You've got games like what's it called? Escape Plan. You've got games coming out next year which are going to be downloadable titles, such as Muramasa the Demon Blade, which is at the moment only confirmed for Japan, but was a great Nintendo Wii title. You've also got Rainbow Moon, which is a massive, huge, expansive RPG, which actually come out on the PlayStation 3 earlier this year. I reviewed it on BrooklynKing.com. And it was a fantastic game. And that's coming to the PlayStation Vita. So this common misconception about the Vita not having any games is simply untrue. There's many games on the Vita. A lot of great games out there. You know, don't let people fool you. If you went out today and bought a PlayStation Vita, there's no way in hell you could say, oh yeah, but you know, there's only one good game for it. There's only 2 games for it, you know. Why aren't they releasing more games? There is a shit ton of games on the PlayStation Vita. Let's not forget, it's also become, you know, a haven for fighting games. Upon its release, like I already said, it had Blaze Blue, it had Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. It now has Mortal Kombat, the full console game, on the PlayStation Vita. It has Street Fighter Cross Tekken, the full console game, with cross-play, with cross-platform DLC, everything on the system. It's all there, all intact, and it's a fantastic port. It's also recently got PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which again is another cross-play game. You can play on the PlayStation Vita against those on the PlayStation 3. If you buy the PlayStation 3 version, you get a free copy of the PlayStation Vita. There is games on there. There are racing games on there. As mentioned previously, Wipeout 2048 is a fantastic racer. Not only that, you get the Wipeout 2048 and you also can now download the HD pack, which includes Wipeout HD and the Fury pack, which is like basically you got 2 games in one right there. It's fantastic. You've got MotorStorm RC, which is, you know, a little spin-off of the MotorStorm series. A really good game, a really fun, good game. You know, and let's not forget Need for Speed Most Wanted come out recently on the PlayStation Vita. The whole entire console game, again, the open world, all the cars, all the events, everything fit onto the PlayStation Vita cartridge. Even with some exclusive Vita races. Fair enough, you know, some compromises were made. The graphics didn't look as good as on PlayStation 3, but why would they? It's a handheld console. It's a handheld. It's not going to have PS3 like-for-like graphics on all games. You know, compromises have to be made. But the fact is, Need for Speed Most Wanted is the best racer at the moment, and currently one of the best games on the PlayStation Vita. There are games on the Vita. You know, don't get it twisted. It's definitely a system with games, and the games are only going to come a lot quicker. And they're also going to be better. You know, games to look forward to in 2013. One in particular, Soul Sacrifice. That looks like a really, really good game. That's kind of like the game at the moment which is currently generating some hype in Japan. Possibly gonna, you know, I think it's kind of going for that Monster Hunter crown, basically. You know, Soul Sacrifice, I think Sony wanted it to be the Monster Hunter of the PlayStation Vita. You know, that's kind of what they're going for. You know, so there's definitely games out for the system right now. Oh, let's not even forget Gravity Rush. Now, I kind of had a love-hate relationship with Gravity Rush. You know, there's some things that I really liked. It's a fantastic looking game with great sound. Some of like the combat elements, you know, really pissed me off a bit. But again, it's Gravity Rush and it's a really good game and a fantastic game to have in your Vita collection. So yeah, like I keep saying, don't get it twisted. Don't let people turn around and say to you, fuck the Vita, it's got no games, you know, where are the games at, Sony? Where are the games at? The games are there. People just start seeking them out and, you know, looking for that shit. The games are there. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think there's quite a few things that Sony really, like, you know, fucked up upon. The whole proprietary memory cards, you know, Sony's own memory cards that you have to have on the Vita, which cost a fortune. You know, really, you can only play games with the memory card, otherwise you can't play the games anyway. And the fact that you can't use the cheaper and the more expensive SD cards, I think that's one of the areas that Sony really fucked up upon. Because at the moment, I've only got a 16GB card. The whole of that memory has been taken up. Now, don't forget, it's not just from digital downloads. When you download like patches, for the system, when you download firmware updates, when you download patches for games, that all takes up space. You know, it's not stored on the cartridges, unfortunately. It's all stored on the Vita. So, in terms of memory, Sony, to be honest, I don't even know whether or not they could do this now, but they really need to come up with a way where the Vita is able to use different kinds of memory cards, or come out with an adapter where, you know, charge you for the adapter, yeah, but maybe then you're able to use SD cards where you could get like, I don't know, a 2, 3, 4 gigabyte SD card and have all your shit on the Vita. Because at the moment, you know, or even bigger memories, you know, that's just additional memory that you could have. You know, it really needs more expansive memory on the system, definitely. I mean, okay, fair enough, there's 32 gigabyte cards, I think maybe even now there's a 64 gigabyte, but, you know, in the grand scheme of things, in the long run, if you're a person who buys digital downloads only, 32 gigabyte, 64 isn't really going to last you that long. Especially as well if you've already got your music and your like movies on it, you know, so it's not going to last that long. So yeah, there's different things that Sony really need to like book up in terms of like, you know, marketing. They really need to market the games. I mean, don't get me wrong, there has been some pretty good marketing. I think, you know, over the last couple of months they really have been pushing like you know, the new Assassin's Creed game and Call of Duty, you know, really pushing the bundles, as well as FIFA on it as well. So I think they're doing an okay job over here, at least in the UK. I'm not sure about anywhere else, but I really think they need to step it up. Now, I think in terms of the sales, obviously that's a big disappointment. I mean, I think the Vita has now been on sale, you know, 12 months worldwide, and I think it's sold under 3 million units. The Vita has sold like under 3 million units up to now, whereas the Nintendo 3DS, which has been out on sale, what, 18 months now, has sold like 10 million plus, I think, even more. So, you know, obviously its direct competitor is the Nintendo 3DS, which is why I mention it, because, you know, Nintendo are taking away a lot of the market share with the amount of 3DSs they're selling, with the games they're coming out with. Don't forget, Japan are getting Monster Hunter 4 sometime next year. It's going to help move the Nintendo 3DS by even millions more. They've already got Monster Hunter games on the 3DS, as well as, you know, the usual Marios, Mario Kart, Zeldas, Professor Layton. No doubt they'll get a Pokemon game on there, maybe sometime in 2013. Wouldn't surprise me, you know, because, you know, the 3DS really needs a Pokemon game. So the 3DS is set in terms of the many, many more millions it's going to sell throughout 2013, but, you know, Sony really need to work on a way for the sales of the Vita to pick up. Now, people may say it needs a price drop. I wouldn't argue with the price drop. To be honest, I think for the piece of kit that you get and how powerful this system is, you know, I think the price of it already is pretty good. But the main thing is, like I said before, the memory cards, because the memory cards are so expensive, and you could put like another 50 odd pound on top of the price of the console for a memory card, and that's even before you've bought a game. You know, these are things that Sony should have thought about before, and, you know, I think they were trying to push the whole, you know, console quality games on the go type, you know, scenario. They were trying to push that so much up until its release, and then, you know, they threw in the whole, oh, but you've got to buy a memory card, and then they charged an extortionate amount of money for it, and the shit backfired basically, because nobody's buying it. So that's the problem right there. So I think in terms of, you know, is the Vita a flop or is it a success? Hardware wise, in the games it's already got, in the games that it's potentially going to get in the future, the Vita is definitely a success. I think it's a great system. I really, really do. I love my PlayStation Vita. You know, these two analog sticks right here make all the fucking difference, believe me. If you played a PSP, you know, and you always just wished you could have that second analog stick, it's right here, it's right here. You can play your PSP games on the Vita via digital download, and now you can use that second analog stick for the cameras from the PSP game, you know? So, not only that, but you can download your PSP games, you can download PS1 games to it as well and play your PS1 games. So, I think in terms of the hardware, in terms of the games it's got, it's a definite success. In terms of the sales in the first 12 months on release, yeah, it's a definite flop. You know, Sony can't deny it. I don't think anyone else will deny it. It definitely should have sold a whole lot more than it has already. But you know, I've got hope and I've got faith in the system just because I know how good of a system it actually is. I hope the sales are going to pick up. I hope that people are going to get the chance to actually hold one and play on one themselves. You know, don't just go off what the adverts are doing. You know, go down to your local game shop. You know, see if they've got like a demo of one. You know, get your hands on it, play a bit of Uncharted, play Wipeout, and you'll definitely see the quality of what this system is and what this system can actually produce, because it is a fantastic bit of kit. You know, so yeah. So for me, whether or not the PlayStation Vita is a flop or if it's a success, it's just a tale of two stories, basically. On the one side, yeah, it's a flop in terms of sales, definitely. No one can deny that. But in what the Vita actually is as a game console, you know, it's a definite success, and it's the best handheld gaming platform on the market right now. I'll tell you that right now. And you know, if Sony play the cards right, it can only get better. But in order for them to do that, they probably need to like do a price cut, get a lot more Vitas moving off the shelves, because only that way, when the Vita has got a proper install base, a lot more of the developers are going to come and want to make games for it. Right now, at the moment, the developers who Sony may try and get on board are probably saying, well, you know, why should we spend so much time, so much money and so much effort making a game for this system when the system itself isn't really selling? You know, it's not setting the world on fire like Sony hoped it was going to, you know. These are the things Sony needs to think about. And don't forget, you know, for everyone out there who's waiting on the first true first-person shooter on the PlayStation Vita, let's not forget that the new Killzone is coming out in 2013. Guerrilla Games did say on a recent PlayStation blog post that Killzone, I think is Killzone Extraction or something like that, is coming out in 2013. This is being made in-house by Guerrilla Games. Guerrilla Games actually have opened a new studio, who are Guerrilla Games something they're called, who are making this new Killzone game. And apparently the game is looking fantastic. Apparently this new studio have done a really good job of bringing the Killzone 3 engine over to the PlayStation Vita. So there's definitely things to look for. You know, like I say, I'm a true believer in the PlayStation Vita system. I hope sales and everything can pick up, because it's only when you play one you can actually realise the true potential of it. Me sitting here right now rambling on and on and on telling you how great it is isn't necessarily going to make you run out and spend all that money on one. But what I implore you to do, like I said previously, is go down to your local game shop, you know, see if they've got a demonstration unit there, you know, and just try it out. Try and spend a bit of time with it. Go around to your friend's house if they've got one. Spend a bit of time with it, and I'm sure your mind will change. So that's it from me. So let me know what you think in the comment section, whether or not you think the Vita is a flop or do you think it's a success. You know, what games you like, what games are you looking forward to. Anything you want to write in the comment section, you know, just hit me up. So that's it from me for now. Hope you all enjoyed the video. I'm your boy Scatino, and I'm out. Peace!